In this video, what I want to explore is the relationship between the overview and detail report summary cards. And we're probably familiar with these already, but whenever you go into an overview report in Google Analytics 4, it's actually built of a collection of these summary cards. And quite often, most of the time, they'll have a little blue link underneath each one that takes you into the detail report, wherever that happens to be in the reports menu. And so when we talk about updating that or customizing an overview report, we can just go into the overview report, click customize using the pencil icon on the top right hand corner, and then we can drag the ordering of things, we can rearrange things, we can remove things, we can even go into the kind of the deck and find the cards we want and we can pull them in. But that's great, and that's using the default out of the box cards that are available to us. But what if we wanted to create new cards into this deck? What if we wanted to create different visualizations or different ways of formatting the data to be a bit more useful for us in these overview reports? And that's where, kind of counterintuitively, we don't go into the overview reports to start this process. We start in the detail reports. Because what we're looking at is each of these cards is a summary of the detail report in some way. And that's why those blue links to the detail reports exist. And so when we create new cards for use in the overview reports, we have to start in the detail reports. And the way that we can create these, if I go into a detail report, let's just take the traffic acquisition report, for example, I can click customize and go into the edit screen. And in here, you might be familiar with what to do in here by now, but you can customize the dimensions, metrics, filters, and the charts. But at the bottom is the key thing I want to mention today, and that is the summary card section. And there's already, in this example, there's already a summary card there that's of use already in an overview report. But what I want to do is I want to go through, first of all, I can edit that if I want to, but I'm going to create a brand new card. And by doing so, I can create a couple of different cards that all point back to this detail report. And when I open up that screen, there's a couple of things we can do. We can go in and choose our dimensions and metrics. We can even include a variety of dimensions and metrics from this report, just so that we can give a little drop down and control to the user that's viewing the overview report. But let's just take, for example, let's take the session source as the dimension, and let's take the metrics, let's take sessions. And then I've chosen my dimensions and metrics. The last thing I do is choose a visualization. So I can take a data table, let's take a line chart, pie chart, and the last one is a bar chart. And so I can go through that process. I quite like the look of a pie chart, so I'm going to keep with the pie chart. And so you can already see in the card preview on the right hand side how that is forming and what that will look like. And obviously the link's not blue because we're not linking off anywhere just now, but that's where the link would exist that takes us back into the detail report. There's one last thing I want to talk about here, because I think this is the real kind of interesting and powerful thing within this, is that we can add filters to this individual card. And so now if I click add a card filter and I create a new filter, let's say looking at the example I've started working with, this is looking at all marketing channels and it's plotting the traffic in a pie chart. So maybe let's focus this on one marketing channel. Let's look at the organic channel. And so if I wanted to filter this, I can take the session medium and I can select is organic, and then I click apply. And so now that I've selected the include session medium equals organic as part of this as a filter, this is now an organic search pie chart and showing me traffic by the different search networks. Predominantly Google in my example, but you can see Bing and DuckDuckGo in there as well. And this is just one example I happen to pick, but this can be visualized and filtered by anything we want, to be honest. For example, I could look at a table of mobile devices that visit the website and understand what type of iPhone or Android phone that are being used. So this is different ways of creating different summary cards and including pre-filtered summary cards too. So this filter won't apply to the whole overview report, it will just apply to this one card itself. Once I'm happy, I click apply, and I've now got in my list at the bottom of the page 2 summary cards. I click save and I've now got 2 summary cards to use, and it doesn't do anything by saving this. It doesn't do anything without us having to then go into now an overview report and then add in this overview card, this summary card into the report. So this is just a way of creating, I like to think of it as a deck of cards, but we're creating a bigger deck for us to play with. And when we come to building and editing or updating our overview reports, we'll have more cards to utilize, more cards to play with when it comes to building brand new overview reports or even editing existing ones. But anyway, that's what I wanted to go through. There's a little demo there of showing you how it all works. But the most important thing is that relationship between the two. You've got these summary cards that we create in the detail reports, and then we use them in the overview reports. And I think that's the fun to play with. So hopefully that's useful to you and you can find some practical way of implementing that and rolling that out and start to think about how you can create different type of summary cards for different type of overview reports. But anyway, that's the feature. I hope you've enjoyed it and I'll catch you in the next one.